Wyatt Sicks continue to tease an interesting new direction for themselves. We'll also check out what's happening with Jade Cargill, Giulia, and more. Starting things off with a new change of direction for the Wyatt Sicks. It was a quick moment that got swept under the rug a few weeks back, but the Wyatt Sicks wrongfully cheated to win the tag team titles from the Street Profits. Lots of outside interference and attacks behind the referees' backs from the Wyatts, which is not something you usually see from a traditional babyface team. But due to the cheating, the Wyatt Sicks were able to win the tag team titles. Well, now, in the July 25th edition of Smackdown, we got once again another disgraceful act from the Wyatt Sicks. Andrade and Rey Fenix were going crazy in the ring against the Wyatts for the tag team titles. They hit their big moves and appear to be closing in on winning the tag team titles from the Wyatt Sicks. But Uncle Howdy sent Nikki Cross to ringside, and Nikki pulled the referee's leg and dragged the referee outside the ring, which led to the referee calling for the bell and disqualification, all while Nikki appeared to find humor in the whole situation. You had that initial cheating moment by Eric Rowan to win the titles, and now we get this new questionable moment of Nikki Cross causing a disqualification since the Wyatts were seconds away from losing their newly won titles. So maybe not a drastic heel turn quite yet, but it certainly looks like the Wyatts are leaning more towards the heel side than anything else. Those are two moves that an honorable babyface wouldn't do, so it looks like the Wyatts are continuing this path into the gray area, into this evil area. And even before all the questionable acts were put on display by the group, Uncle Howdy did warn that this was coming. Immediately after the Wyatts returned a few months back, Howdy had a promo about how this group wasn't just a nostalgic act or a tribute act. He pointed out that they were here to take over and take what's theirs. So, seeing these questionable heelish acts by the group in current day does seem to make Howdy's earlier comments make even more sense. It sounds like Howdy was saying just because Bray is no longer with them, that doesn't mean they're always going to be feel-good, honorable babyfaces. It sounds like what Howdy was saying, that if they're going to get their hands dirty and do questionable things to stay on top, then they will. And that's exactly what we're seeing him put into action here. He saw his guys were in trouble during that July 25th tag team titles match, so he sent Nikki Cross to cause the disqualification. Obviously not the most honorable thing to do here, but it was the necessary thing to do in order for the Wyatts to keep the titles. So it looks like that's where the Wyatts continue to be at as a group. They're not full baby faces, but they don't appear to be full heels either. So you can mark them down somewhere in the middle, which a lot of fans do like for their direction. Because for a majority of his WWE career, Bray Wyatt himself was always somewhere in the middle. So for the Wyatt Sicks to now be in that same area as Bray was, that's something a lot of fans like. And after Nikki Cross caused that distraction, every single tag team came out from the backstage area and started flying and dropping people everywhere. Nick Aldis then announced that it would be a massive 6-way tag team TLC match for the tag team titles at Summerslam. The teams include in this match are Wyatt Sicks, Street Profits, DIY, MCMG, Fraxium, Andrade, and Rey Fenix. This is a massive tag team match that a lot of fans are excited for. Fans wanted to originally see a match like this at WrestleMania 41, but they didn't pull the trigger on it back then. But they're pulling the trigger on it at SummerSlam, and it's arguably the biggest and greatest tag team match of all time. Lots of hype surrounding this massive historical tag team match, and expectations are through the ceiling for this match right here. A lot of fans are expecting this match to steal the show during SummerSlam weekend, so we'll see how that goes and if it turns out to be the case. Also have to keep an eye on the Wyatt Sicks and if they will be continuing to go down this heelish path that they've been teasing in recent weeks. A long-awaited return took place on Smackdown, and it looks like big plans are already in place for this star, and that's Kiana James. Kiana was drafted to Monday Night Raw in 2024, a bit of an unexpected call-up that a lot of fans didn't see coming, but rumor had it that, at the time, Kiana James was said to be heavily featured on Raw and get a significant push. However, we didn't get to see much of that come to light because she went down with a serious low leg injury at the start of that main roster run. But now, well over a year after that devastating injury, and Kiana James is cleared for action and has made her television return. Her first return appearance quietly took place on the July 18th edition of Smackdown, where she was seen deep in the background of a backstage segment speaking to Giulia. And on the July 25th edition of Smackdown, we saw the payoff to that private backstage meeting. Zelina Vega tried approaching Giulia about getting the US title back, but Kiana James made an appearance to get it in between both of them. Kiana called herself the official representation for Giulia, and for Zelina Vega to relate all messages to her. Kiana revealed that Zelina and Giulia will meet on the August 1st edition of Smackdown for the US title. So a very small sample size of Kiana James in that manager role, but the overall feeling in the community appears to be very positive. Fans really like what they saw from Kiana in this new role. It's also very refreshing, because the manager genre in WWE has been slowly going extinct over the years. Sure, you still have big names around like Paul Heyman, but especially in the women's division, it's been pretty barren. So they appear to be giving it a shot with Kiana James stepping into this manager role. It looks like Kiana James will serve as the main mouthpiece for Giulia. Giulia may still have a few lines like she had there in that backstage segment with Zelina Vega, but it looks like the heavy lifting of the verbal exchanges between Giulia and her opponents will be handled by Kiana James going forward. So it was only a minute-long introduction to the new duo, but fans love what they saw from that first impression. Kiana James was also in action during a recent edition of Main Event as well, so it looks very possible that Kiana could work double duty as a manager and in-ring talent going forward. So that too will be interesting to see how they pull that off. Could Kiana James serve as Giulia's mouthpiece and tag team partner? It seems very possible for sure. Something that's caught the attention of fans as of late is the lack of storytelling when it comes to the WWE Women's Title program at Summerslam. You have Tiffany Stratton going over 200 days as champion on a hot streak, and you have Jade Cargill, fresh out of the Queen of the Ring tournament, riding all that momentum. Fans expected to see some more type of story there from that heading into SummerSlam's match, but instead, they decided to go with no storyline at all between Jade and Tiffany for whatever reason. They had a verbal backstage montage promo that included Tiffany saying that Jade was going to become just another name on the list, and Jade said she was going to put an end to Tiffany Stratton. Then on July 25th, Tiffany saved Jade from an attack, and Jade picked up the title and handed it back to Tiffany. That's been their entire build-up for a WWE Women's Title match at SummerSlam right there. So a very flat and disappointing storyline heading into the match. There's literally nothing to talk about, nothing interesting to break down, no contract signing segments, no in-ring promos, just nothing at all for this SummerSlam program. So a lot of fans question that decision to go down the zero narrative for this matchup, but that's what they went with. So we don't have much to discuss about this feud at all, but one theory that's still out there that could include a potential heel turn. Both competitors are babyfaces, so on top of having no story, the live SummerSlam crowd may also be divided on who to cheer for in this match, with both of them being babyfaces. So maybe in the middle of the match or post-match, we could see a big heel turn there potentially. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.